All right, on to the next build. So first time from the workshop, and first thing we're gonna do with the new build is do a little kit review, and I'm gonna show you the parts I'm gonna use. But first things first, huge shout out, thank you for all the people who already watched the videos. So all the free videos I've put out so far gained about 140 clicks or views. That is amazing, and already got 14 subscribers. I mean, it's pretty sure that's all people I personally know, but still really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks again. So much credit. Second thing, I figured out what was wrong with the audio on the last video. So it's actually the phone. So the clear sounds obviously work with the phone, but if you go to the distortion on the guitar channel, the phone automatically kind of recognize that as background noise. It's actually foreground noise. Yeah, and then it kind of turns that down and to give a clearer sound to speech. Okay, so let's start with the build. So the next build obviously gonna be a Telecaster. It's more or less the same type of kit I used on the Strat. So it comes with the pre-routed outline on the body, and a neck that already got the frets on, fretboard glued on, and this cheap plastic saddle again. And this is what the headstock looks like when it comes from the factory. So I also have to shape that in a kind of form. The idea is actually to build a P90 Telecaster. And yeah, probably should talk about the things that are not so great about those kits. So that is a flat sawn neck, again, like on the Strat. And the fretboard is rosewood, which looks pretty nice. Flat sawn too, but it's kind of like the grain, so it's like actually that part is really nice. Yeah, maple neck, and already recognized some flaws. So the kits are not super expensive, but they're not cheap either. And I don't know if you can see that. So the frets are popping up like real bad. I mean, that is not great. And they're kind of springy, so it's not like they slipped out of their fret slots. They really came up, and I can like push them up and down. So I need to fix them in place. That's bad. It's like really low quality. And the frets are polished, and you can actually see the compound, the remains of the actual compound they used for polishing. I mean, the fret finish is nice, but the fretboard is kind of dirty. I have to clean that up anyway, and I'm pretty sure I have to do a leveling on the fretboard anyway. Another thing I already realized is, I don't know if you can see that part on the camera, but that's not flat. It's not perpendicular to the sides, and it's not flat. It's like it has a completely arbitrary shape. So it will not fit correctly into the net pocket. Okay, the fit, like the fit in terms of force, is pretty nice. So it kind of like holds itself. That's great, but the surface is really uneven. So I have to flatten that. And I mean, it's a good practice, but I wish I could do without. So just to give you an impression on like how bad it really is. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, so it's definitely more than a millimeter. I have to flatten out. Wow. And yeah, the fretboard is already chipped. So what happened? I took the board out of the bag. It came like in a long foamy bag, And I had a look at it and I slipped it back into the bag and it broke right through the bottom. Was that stupid? Absolutely. Like total lack of train control at that very moment. But I glued that in place and I gotta clean it up later and then probably fine. Something else I recognize, there is this little dip in the board, so it's pushed inwards. It doesn't really matter, but it's just, yeah, it's an aesthetic flaw, and I don't know if I might fill that out with UV resin. I don't have any rosewood dust I could mix into a filler or something. Yeah, I don't know what to do about that. Not gonna send it back, but yeah, the board really needs a lot of fretwork. Good practice though. And I have to come up with a shape for the headstock. I'm not going to do the traditional Telecaster headstock because I don't really like the design. It's iconic, I know, but I kind of feel it looks like stumpy to me and a bit too reduced or too simple. And please don't shitstorm me on that. It looks a bit crippled to me. So probably come up with something that is a bit like a Strat style headstock, but not exactly the same, because I don't think that the Strat headstock really fits a Telecaster. So gonna be something more modern. The whole guitar will be a more modern interpretation of the Telecaster anyway. So about the body, it's I think a 4-piece, yeah, 4-piece ash body. The top looks alright, the back not so much, and it's also uneven, and I tried to plane it down, and then it actually, the grain ripped up, and I can fix that later with a bit of glue and sanding. Yeah, it's just like the same soft ash wood that we have on the Strat with the same issues, and can't do much about it. But what are we gonna do with that thing? The idea is that this will have a solid walnut top. I bought some wood. I had to order it online because it's like pretty hard to find a wood shop or a place that sells wood around here, and I actually bought a piece of walnut, and it has this. I bought it online, so it has this big knot, which is not great. But I also bought a wood box, which is kind of a surprise package of different kind of wood, and there was this piece of American walnut, which might look much nicer in terms of the grain. It has this like kind of purple hue, and it also has a knot, but I have to book match it anyways. I have to cut that into half along here, and then flip it open and glue it to the deck of the guitar. And if we're lucky and put it on that way, the knot, like the one part of the knot, will be exactly in the cutaway on the body. And if I flip it over that way, the other part, the knot is not that bad. So there are two things I could do. I could fill out the little cracks in the knot, and it looks just the way it is. Or if it happens to be around here in that part, and I could actually put the switch there. So like drill out the knot and put the toggle switch there. Because, and that brings me to the hardware I bought. That whole thing is, as I said, supposed to be a P90 Strat. And I'm pretty sure, now I know, Fender had P90 Strats. Like, it's not the common layout, but they used to have them. And they had walnut Strats, and I think they were coincidentally the same. I think it was a thing of the 70s. I think it was called the Telecaster Deluxe or Custom. I got this nice set of Lola pickups. So they're not top end, but I go with the same philosophy as on the Stratocaster. So I decided to go with upper mid-range, mid-tier parts. And Lola pickups are made in the US. They're pretty good. So I didn't want to go with a Gibson P90 because like it doesn't make much sense to put a Gibson pickup on a Fender style guitar. But yeah, so they're more expensive pickups than those, but they are like not the cheapest. Next thing would be this Goto single piece bridge. Even though it's a single piece bridge, it's fully adjustable. Goto, Japanese made, good hardware, like nothing to argue about. So that thing would go that way. Yeah. In terms of knobs, Goto as well. Just a second here. So probably something like this. Yeah. I get this pre-made Telecaster harness from Mojo Tone. It comes with the classic Telecaster style switch. Yeah. Master volume, master tone, three-way switch, pretty classic. Output jack. But I don't want to put that switch into the guitar. I want to put in rather Gibson style toggle switch. So that will be that one. Pretty big. We have to go for a low profile switch, but okay. Yeah, I think we can make that fit. So I don't know, something like this. Like this. I don't know. I want to figure out that later. We got, hold on. The strap buttons are surprisingly small, and they're not as black as expected, but I mean, that's just a detail. Black neck plate, pretty cool. And I think I don't go for a bone nut this time. I got this pre-made black tusk nut from Graphtec that definitely should fit in terms of string spacing and width. I gotta see about the depth. If the slot in the neck is already too deep, I probably have to shim it, but yeah, that most likely will work. Check plate is black as well, so that somewhere around here. Gotta figure out the exact position later. It's more of a Gibson style check plate as well. What else do we have? String trees, also black. Everything's black on the guitar except the wood. And a pretty nice set of Goto locking tuners. Yeah, the guitar does not have a vibrato or tremolo, but I just like the locking tuners. It's just more stable when it comes to tuning. Machine heads, yeah. Interestingly, the neck has those pre-drilled holes. I wonder if they fit, but if not, they don't. It doesn't matter, I'm gonna plug them anyway. And the Strat kit did not have those little screw holes. That's different. piece. And I just got this big sheet of picket material. It's 3-ply actually. I don't want to put a pick guard on the guitar, but I need something to build a cover for the electronics cavity on the back. Maybe I'm going to do a pick guard. I don't know yet, but I thought about having a transparent or clear pick guard made out of acrylic. That could be cool, but if you have an opinion on that, just put it in the comments. And something I do consider, and I don't know if that would match up. I got some walnut veneer. It's like 0.6 millimeters or something, and also give the headstock some veneer, like on the front. That would be awesome. But I have to see how the top works out. If the grain doesn't fit or the color doesn't fit, I might go without a veneer on the headstock. So yeah, that's all the parts I'm going to use. What's next? So first thing, I will take care of the neck, make sure that thing is in order. Gonna make a shape for the headstock and then make the neck fit, because I want to use the screw holes in the body to actually pin the body down, because I made myself a routing jig, because I have to route off the top of the guitar to put on the walnut top. And once I manage to build the walnut top, I can figure out the real height of the guitar, because yeah, I don't know what the top might turn out, maybe 10 millimeters, 8 millimeters, don't know yet. And so I have to take that much material off so that the neck still fits properly. That's going to be challenging because I don't have a bandsaw. So what I actually have to do is, first off, I have to just clean it up a bit here. First thing I have to do is to make like a proper reference surface. So maybe that part, make it perfectly flat, and then use that as a reference surface to make that part and that part perpendicular. And then I can cut through here, but I have to do it with a circular saw, with a hand saw, since I don't have a bandsaw or like a table saw or something. And glue that together, clean them up with a block plane or a hand plane or something. And yeah, that's the plan. So the next couple videos for the next weeks, months, will be about how I try to accomplish that. So I hope you're going to follow me along on that, and I want to have some fun together here. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll keep you updated.